So for the last week or so, I've been hearing about this bullshit again about Kathleen Kennedy's leaving and all this, and we've been hearing this for years. And I seen Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers and all of those people going on about, oh, this is it, she's gonna leave, blah blah, and all this. So I knew better, but now we actually have the bitch herself on here talking about why she's well, I wouldn't say leaving. She's just not going to be working on Star Wars bullshit, which she should have done in the why does this look like Shane Davis on here? This looks like Shane Davis's Palpatine. What is going on here? Anyways, so he's gonna read Esmond Gold's gonna be watching Critical Drinker here and commenting on his view of this. So basically, what the reality is that I guess they're pushing her away from Star Wars movies, or she's not going to be making much more of them except for the Mando movie and some other movie. And then she's saying, oh, well, I'm going to be working on other garbage that I can destroy. I'm going to probably go over to Avatar and destroy that crap. This has been the most destructive person in the industry that I could think of ever. I mean, this bitch had a franchise handed to her on a golden platter, and all she had to do was follow the EU. That's all she had to do. It was all right there. We could have had well, we got Thrawn, but it was a shitty, like, dollar store Thrawn who had a big fat gut. That was ridiculous. We could have had a real Thrawn trilogy, like what we had in the EU. We could have had Dark Empire, if anything. We could have had so much more, but this stupid bitch and her agenda-filled garbage and whammon. Nobody likes Rey. Rey is fake. She's a fucking Palpatine. And you know what? She actually has the balls on this to say that they had a plan all along. Anybody that watched those sequels knew that that was all over the goddamn place. There's no continuity through the movies. Each movie is like, well, we're gonna go this way. Then the second one is like, we're gonna destroy Luke and go that way. And then the third one is, okay, we're gonna try to correct course here, but blow it with the biggest plot hole in history. We're gonna give a Force Ghost a lightsaber. That's still to this day just that just blows my mind that they did that. Anyways, so here's the bitch herself. We're gonna listen to her in this article, and
it's looking like Kathleen Kennedy
Shane Davis
is done. We see what happens. I feel like they've wasted enough money on Star
Shane
Wars
Davis.
to where she getting cooked. Let's find out.
Ago, when the height of military technology was the flintlocked musket, part of the process for loading it involved pulling the hammer back to the halfway point, known as the half-cocked position, so that you'd have enough room to fill the primer pan with gunpowder. It was also useful as a kind of basic safety catch, because the hammer wouldn't engage from the half-cocked position, no matter how hard you pulled the trigger. Unfortunately, sometimes in the heat of battle, soldiers would get a bit ahead of themselves and forget to pull the hammer back all the way, so that when they actually tried to shoot at the enemy, the safety was would stay engaged and the gun wouldn't fire. Hence the expression, going off half-cocked.
Yeah.
I.e., rushing into something without being properly prepared with disastrous consequences. I bring
That's
this
what I
up
do with
because it
everything.
seems particularly relevant to the absolute shit show surrounding Kathleen Kennedy and the eternal question of when, how, and indeed if she'll ever leave her office at Lucasfilm.
Well, it seems pretty fucking obvious that a lot of the Star Wars things that they're doing aren't very popular, right? That
Well, you don't
Acolyte thing
say.
isn't popular. The movie trilogy wasn't very popular. People didn't really like it. Now, it might...
You know, the only thing out of the Disney crap that I could say was remotely worth a shit was the Mando. The Mando started off good. It was pretty good there for a while. But that last season, what they should have done is just left it where Luke showed up and took the baby. That was the whole point of the show. Was that Luke was going to show up and take the baby to train it. And they even blew that. That was just, it's just total fuck up. All of this, all of it. If they had just left it where Luke took the baby and then we didn't see anything after that, that would have been like preferable. But no, we've got to have another season. And what do? They make it the I forget what her name is, but it's the Battlestar Galactica chick. They make it all about her. And Trump is just a not Trump up. The Mando is basically just a side person in that. And you're just like, this is the Mando show, not the Katie Sackhoff show. I can't remember what her name was on there. She had the red wig on. I can't remember her name, but anyways, it was mainly her show after that, and it just sucked. It just totally sucked, man. All right, let's just keep going. I'm sorry, I'm getting on these tangents here.
Might have made money, but I think that like making money in the short term but damaging the brand in the long term is a big problem. Because like if you make money the first time but it's bad product, the chances of you making money the second time, even if it's a good product, are way lower. That's the issue. There's a ripple effect.
You don't say.
Never.
A few days ago, when Puck News broke the story about her plans to step down at the end of the year, it was picked up by every major news outlet and YouTube channel, with even a...
Yep, this is why I didn't report on this, because I've been burned too many times with this bullshit, and I knew. I just knew. I'm like, nope, I ain't falling for this shit again. And then here we go with Nerdrotic. Oh, Kathleen's going, and oh, Kathleen's out again. Oh, okay.
Vague interest in Star Wars, including yours truly.
Yeah.
Oh, come on! Yeah, we'd heard plenty of rumors like this before, but this was the first time that it felt real and plausible. Kennedy was old as fuck by this point. She'd been at Lucasfilm for what felt like half my lifetime, and she'd presided over a disastrous series of critical and commercial failures and embarrassments that had left the company with no more assets to exploit.
Well,
all right, look at this. The Force Awakens. Look at how that is. Look at the drop off here. Look at the drop off. 2015. Look at this. Now, I thought Rogue One was probably it was decent. It wasn't the best movie, but I thought it was all right. I thought the problem with Rogue One was the villain should have been Vader on there, not that stupid guy, that fucking guy that was like, oh, I'm gonna get ahead. You know, it was like he was like Space Dwight from The Office, and it didn't work. Like they should have just had Vader have been the main villain on there, and then Vader shows up and then just chokes the Dwight guy. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess we saw Vader choke this guy because he annoyed him.
And you can see, right, is that it just went down. Like, The Force Awakens was super popular, and then, you know, a lot less people watched if you're having a fall off like this, I think that there's probably a reason for it. Rogue One was good. Yeah, it was. I watched that with my mom.
It was pretty widely known that just like a gambler on a losing streak with nothing but the shirt on his back, she'd been holding out for a big win to finish up her tenure.
Yeah. That's the Acolyte.
Let's be real here. I don't think there's any big wins in Star Wars future, at least in the short term, and if they're ever going to happen, it certainly won't be because of you, sweetheart.
Oh.
But hey, Andor Season 2 is on the way, and while it'll probably be watched by an audience of literally hundreds, it'll at least give her the critical success she could use to justify her exit on a high. All of this is to say that it really felt like the time was right for her to go, maybe announcing her departure at Star Wars Celebration in April, and spending the rest of the year collecting pointless awards and prepping her successor to take over. That is, until Puck News broke the story ahead of schedule, forcing her to do an interview with Deadline where she, clarified the situation? Quote, "The truth is, and I want to just say loud and clear, I am not retiring.
Oh, there it is. I told you. This bitch, the most destructive person in cinema history, man. I'm not gonna quit. I'll die making movies. Okay?
Still gonna leave the company.
Will never retire
That's what
from
I would
movies.
say, right?
I will
Who
die
knows?
making movies. That is the first thing that's important to say. I am not retiring.
Uh-oh.
Right.
You know, it's actually kind of funny reading this now
Yeah.
because you can tell how angry she is that she's having to defend her own career now.
Yeah, of
the
course.
passive-aggressive attitude is practically dripping off the page. It's like a kid that's been told to eat their vegetables one time too many, has a complete meltdown and screams, "You know what? I'm never eating food again, ever!" I also like this question where the interviewer asks her about the chaos surrounding her possible departure. Chaos? There's never been any chaos because we know exactly what the plan is.
Really?
Yeah, he's right about that, man. There was no fucking plan. Anybody that's seen those movies knows there was no fucking plan. I mean, they were all over the goddamn place. Like, each movie felt like it was going to go this way, and then you see the next one, and it was like, well, how is this gonna, there's, like I said, there's no continuity. It's like a Star Trek episode. 1 minute we're looking for gaseous anomalies. The next minute Tasha Yar dies. The next minute we're fighting the Romulans. It's like, it's all over the goddamn place.
Man.
You know, that's kind of ironic.
Well, they do know what the plan is. The plan is to make Star Wars shitty.
Yeah, pretty much.
They've been executing that plan for a while.
Yep.
Make it as cringe as possible. Take away any vestige of masculinity and replace it with some weird androgynous, like, current culture vibe that nobody likes.
Yep.
So yeah, actually, you know, I think that they have had a strategy. It's just not a good strategy. It's a bad strategy.
And your entire tenure at Lucasfilm has been nothing but chaos from start to finish. In fact, it's one of the many reasons you've run that studio into the ground. You had absolutely no plans for Star Wars beyond...
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Nope, there it
You
is.
stumbled drunkenly from lucky success to failure to even bigger failure.
You know, I don't understand how the first movie, I actually liked that first movie. I was shocked. I was like, I was kind of pissed off a little about it because I was expecting Luke to show up and fight alongside her, or that when that saber went in the ground, when they're fighting at the end on that in the trees, like when the saber flew by and went into the ground, I thought that Luke was going to pick that up and fight Kylo, but instead it was just her fighting him, and it was like, I don't know. And then they fucked the black guy over. The black guy was fighting with him for a while, and I'm like, all right, you know, I can get on board with this, man. a fucking stormtrooper turned Jedi, but they don't reveal to the third movie that he has force powers, but apparently he's weak as fuck. He can't even lift a rock or anything with the force, but I don't know, man. They just fuck up after fuck up.
With no idea of how to fix it and no understanding of what you were even doing wrong, and you stuck your fingers in your ears and refused to listen when anyone tried to help you. Oh, just as a little side note to that, by the way, I can tell you with a high degree of confidence that Kevin Feige wasn't just brought in to make a single Star Wars movie a few years ago. He actually came in with a fully comprehensive 5-year plan to unfuck the franchise and get it back.
They got it. You know, they want to unfuck it. I tell you how to unfuck it. You got to go back to the old Republic.
I don't want these people touching the old Republic. They've already talked about that, and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna have Brie Larson as Revan and all this." And I don't want these people touching anything. Honestly, they've done enough damage. Like, this is what they never learned. Like, that was the one thing about Lucas, is he realized back then that just to do his trilogies, and that was it. No more. But no. What do we have? We have all this bullshit and this stupid bitch with her agenda crap, and it's just, I don't know if this guy would have done any better, honestly. I mean, he did good with the Avengers, but after Endgame, it's been shit.
Just get this shit out of here. Completely redo it. Like, go back to, like, the old days. Like, get out of the context of Emperor Palpatine, fucking the Skywalkers, all of that. Fucking get rid of everything.
Yeah, I see what he's saying, but like I said, the problem is you got retards and agenda people here that they just want, they don't care about the story or anything. So a normal person or a sane, rational person would be like, okay, we'll get Keanu Reeves to play Revan. I mean, that's a perfect fit. HK-47, we get the guy who does the games to do the voice for it. There you go. You got a perfect HK-47. The villains and all that, the Sith guys, you could probably cast easily. That would be the rational, sane thing to do. But when I've heard them talk about the Old Republic, they keep talking about putting fucking Brie Larson in there as a Jedi. They want Brie Larson so bad. Nobody likes Brie Larson. Brie Larson sucks ass. Nobody wants her. Nobody likes her. And Revan is supposed to be a dude. This is what I mean. These people are so fixated on this whammon shit. Like, I bet you what they would do is they'd have Brie Larson on there and then a cucked Keanu Reeves on there as, like, I don't know, like another Revan or a clone Revan or something stupid like that, and then she would be lecturing him about masculinity, and you would just be like, this isn't what Old Republic is. This is the problem. It's not the Old Republic isn't the problem. It's these people. You have to get these people out of there and get people in there who are sane and want to make good stuff, not tax write-offs.
And go and make the old Star Wars and make it like some fucking medieval. Because, like, the thing is that, I mean, George Lucas even talked about this, right? Where it was like basically a medieval tale told in a fantasy, in like a sci-fi setting. So why don't we go back to that? Just go back to doing that instead. Make it great again. Yeah, exactly. And so you have so much content that comes out of that and things that the fans like. Then how are you not doing that?
Yep.
And also it frees you up out of a lot of, and this is another problem that, like, the current Star Wars continuity timeline has.
You know, that's the other thing, is it's anti-fan, I noticed. Like with that acolyte garbage and all of this, it's like they keep trying to cater to these 300-pound women with nose rings who don't even watch this shit, but sit there on Twitter and talk about it and try to grift off of it, like Sawyer and those other assholes who don't even like this shit. And they keep trying to cater to them, and they just don't get it, that they don't watch it or any of this. They just want their free noodles from Kathy. They were actually doing that. They were sending these people free ramen. $1.50 you can buy a 6-pack at Walmart. That's how much they thought of those people to send them ramen.
And the problem is that there are so many established realities, like the rule of two. You have the Skywalkers. You have, like Emperor Palpatine. Like, there are so many defined variables that it becomes increasingly harder to be creative inside of that space, because there's more and more context that's being added onto it, right? The way that you solve that is you simply go to a different time period and write a different story. That's my opinion. Go to a totally different fucking story, because they've written themselves into a corner with this bullshit. Just like, wow, yeah, exactly. Or forward. I think that going backwards in time would be more interesting, personally, and I think that they have a lot more content for that. And I think that, yeah, I mean, because they already have written all of that out. I mean, I know they wrote some of the stuff like about like Luke Skywalker starting like an academy and shit like that. Apparently, I don't know if that's still canon or not. But I just think that's what they should do.
Like I said, that's what the rational people would do. And they did show, but see, the problem is they ruined that, because in the movies Luke does start the academy, but you don't know what happened, because they show 3 different versions in Last Jedi, and you're supposed to choose your own adventure of what happened between him and Kylo. So you have no definitive answer there. So in Mando, we see Luke trying to build the school and all that, but then in the movies we see what happens. See, they fuck themselves. I can't do this anymore. This is why I was not wanting to make this, because this is just so very, it's fucking hurtful to me, man, because this was my childhood. This is why I'm working on my movies, because I hate these people. I hate Kathleen. I hate this guy. I hate these people with a passion, because they don't want to do rational things. They want to do these insane things that nobody wants. Nobody wanted Rey. Nobody wanted any of this bullshit. And then he's saying to go make Old Republic. I don't want them touching Old Republic. They will fuck that up even worse, because they always have to put their crap in there. See, it's called escapism for a reason, because you're trying to escape from this shit. And they fill it with the stuff that you're trying to escape from. I don't want to be watching Star Wars and seeing 2 dudes kiss and pronouns and all of this bullshit. That's what you're trying to escape from. But they have no concept of that. They're just, our DEI points, and look at us, how progressive we nobody cares about that shit. They care about a good fucking movie, you idiots. I can't do this any longer. Thanks for watching. I hate these motherfuckers. And I'm glad that this bitch is moving on from Star Wars, at least, to go destroy something else. Why they give these people... How do you destroy a franchise and get rewarded? I just, for the life of me, I don't understand this. I just can't wrap my head around any of this. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.